Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. Hounds have kind of been taking over the meta as of late, and I've been trying to find what works against it, and I hope this video at least showcases a potential counter to it. I'll be up against Belief, who is a very strong tournament player, but goes by the name of Shark Hunter, I believe, and I think this is one of his alt accounts. He'll be going for Seer spec, starting with Sabers and Crawlers, and I'll be picking up some Steel Balls. I have to say I've been playing a lot of Steel Ball recently, which has also got to do with the Hound counter that I like to go for, which is the Wraith. Now, obviously, Hound is a very, very capable chaff clear unit, and especially because it levels so fast, it just seems to be an unstoppable force in a lot of the games that I play, whether it's me playing it or my opponent. So I've been thinking, how do I counter that? And it seems like Wraith can be an answer. Wraith has kind of always been known as the king of the headbutt. Very, very powerful chaff clear unit, and, well, doesn't really get stuck on units the same way that other chaff cleared units might do. So let's see if we can pull it off. Round one here, I will pick up some Hounds, but I am planning to go for Wraith. I think Hound is still typically the best thing you can go for on aggro with this type of ball start. It just doesn't get stuck as much, it's faster, so it keeps up with the steel balls a bit more. Unlike something, well, like an Arclight, which would be the alternative at 100 cost. Apologies, by the way, I am still a little bit sick, so if I sound a bit nasal, you know why. And yeah, Steel Balls here might be able to finish the job just about. It's a very, very close affair. We are in a headbutt. Just so happens both of us went for the left side. And I managed to pick up a level on the Hound. That could be useful. I do get some very good items here as well, though. And by the way, I am a supply specialist, so 500 resources available, which means I will be able to get a Wraith here if I so desire. Opponent goes for the photon emission. Sorry, this is a visual bug. It is the underground threat. Of course, instead of picking up either of these items, which I was somewhat surprised about, I think both heavy armor and improved firepower control system are almost always worth picking up. You'll be able to find some good usage for it. I'm debating whether I wanted heavy armor or improved firepower control system. I think eventually I'll go for the improved. The extra damage should help the Wraith to get rid of the Hounds a bit quicker. And for now, I don't feel like I need the armor. Now, there is an underground threat on the back left corner there, and I won't really have anything to be able to defend it, but I was hoping my opponent wouldn't buy an air unit if he did go for this plane. It seems to be the case. Just goes for more chaff, buys a Hound here on the right side, but doesn't have any anti-air unit, no Phoenixes in sight. And so, even though we will get debuffed, I will just win the round by default. And even though the crawlers are getting to my tower fast, we already managed to take down one Sabertooth. Locked onto another. Can this Steel Ball somehow ramp up, or will it die to the Hounds? Looks like it will die to the Hounds, but with the amount of units I still have left, this should be a really good round. And I'm very happy with the result too. Considering my opponent went for a spell, which, I mean, he was expecting to win the round with, and then he ends up not winning, while I went for a more greedy item, something like the improved firepower. It's really basically the best case scenario. Round number 3 here, we will get some air units, or some free units. Wasp doesn't look... Well, I'm not too scared of it because I do have a Wraith, of course. Now, opponents could go for, like, range and anti-air, but it's kind of expensive to get into, and I wasn't expecting him to do that. Phantom Ray doesn't look too bad. Fangs are alright, but they are level 2, and I don't really want to try and feed the Hounds if I can. So instead, we're going to go for the Phantom Rays here. Get the double deployments out. It's also the pack that's worth the most, so we'll be able to sell it if need be. I'm going to try and go for the tower here. Crawler in front to protect in case opponent puts a missile down. And then one Phantom Ray here, a little bit delayed on the left side. Opponent will go for the level 3 Wasps and instead try to do a similar thing here, attacking my right side. For now, doesn't have any chaff in front though, so maybe we're fine. Phantom Ray isn't very good against Wasp, so we might still end up losing this. I do decide to pick up a level here on the Hound as well as the Steel Ball. They were doing pretty well, and I need some stuff to tank for my Wraith. Opponent picks up a Phoenix 2. And I decide to put a Crawler on the flank. Reason being is, well, I'm expecting some Phoenixes. Okay, they get moved here to the left side. And I don't want them to insta-lock my Wraith. So that's why we use the shallow flank. And right side, oh, some Crawlers were added as well. So the Phantoms are doing okay. But they won't quite manage to get rid of the whole pack of Wasps. Crawlers here will trigger the missile. And I should lose my tower. But at the same time, we went for a deep flank with the Hounds, pulling some Crawlers away, and it's a very dominant victory on that side of the board for us. So with only a couple Wasps and Hounds remaining for the opponent, it should be another round win for us. Very nice, and that is a sizable amount of damage, sending the opponent down to 2,500. Another good item shows up here. Heavy armor. Definitely want to pick that up. Opponent does the same thing. And we'll now get access to his Seer. So, puts that on the left flank to deal with this Hound pack. And we'll start elite recruiting a pack of Hounds to defend the flank as well. And a Sledgehammer, which will receive that heavy armor. Sledgehammer typically very good against Steel Balls, against Wraith. So I honestly quite like this play. Right side, some more stuff getting added. Range now on the Hounds for my opponent. And I decide to put a Wraith on the right side. Also a Crawler just in case opponent decides to missile. And I just think, yeah, the Wraith should be able to deal with the Wasp here as long as they don't get leveled. And even though these sledges can stall, mind you, I do have 2 packs of level 2 Steel Balls, one of which has a heavy armor too. And opponent doesn't really have all that much DPS. Let's see, can we get in? We just got to get rid of this Phoenix pack. Oh, but the Seer has locked on, and that's dealing tons of damage. Already up to 37,000. This round, and I'm getting distracted by a couple of Hounds that are still alive. And as the right side was trying to hop over, the Phantoms continue, but the Wraith changes plans, goes for the right side tower instead, and with a Phoenix and the Seer still alive, I do not think we have what it takes to take round number 4, so the opponent will bounce back. Of course, it was on their power spike turn. They got the Seer. Put it to good use, and that will yield a round win. Round number 5, again, bunch of good items. A second improved firepower control system shows up, and I don't have to think too long about that. Super heavy armor was an idea too. It's probably the best item for Steel Balls, but I can't really turn down an improved firepower control system if my main idea is to get into Wraith. And so it'll find its way onto the right side, and I don't do this very often. At least in the past, this wasn't a very common thing, going for floating artillery array first. But because I'm so close to my opponent, and I've got plenty of units that should get in front of the Wraith, I actually quite like this. Specifically with the improved firepower control system and the level that my Wraith picked up, I should be able to just, well, absolutely crush the left side by doubling my DPS, doubling the amount of targets I can hit at the same time, and then doubling it again because my Wraith leveled. So big power spike turn here on the left. Opponent picked up the improved 2, and that Seer got a level immediately. Seer this early with an improved could be scary, so let's see how this turns out. And the Wasps this time around with Jump Drive have found their way onto my left flank. I do have the Phantoms over there, but with a crawler pack in front as well, that's going to be a little bit too tall of a task for them to clear, and so I will lose my tower here at some point. It does look like it's a pretty disastrous timing. Oh, the enemy Farseer is locked on, and my Wraith just melts instantly. A good play from Belief, and that will send me down to 2200 hit points. Round number 6, Electromagnetic Impact and Electromagnetic Blast available here. Kind of scary considering I can't easily protect my Wraith. It's way too early in the game to get something like Photon Overlord. So I'm just going to have to tank this. I go for the Electromagnetic Impact myself as well. Trying to just hit some of these Hounds. Maybe the opponent techs the Phoenixes or the Farseer. And, well, it's a good spell with a short cooldown. So I think it's worth picking up. And we go for the loose formation here. Mind you, Hound is slightly better into loose formation than something like Arclight, but it is still a valuable tech to click, and with the amount of crawlers I had on the board, I just felt like this was the right play to make. I also pick up more Wraith, one here on the left side. The Underground, of course, is back off cooldown, so I have to be a little bit careful. And opponent jump drives the Wasps kind of in the middle of the flank, and then tries to beacon them straight into my tower. Will this work? I'm not so sure. We'll have to see. The Wraith, again, does have 8 guns, so it should be able to clear these crawlers relatively fast. And as the opponent picks up Mech Rage now on the Hounds, I'm pretty happy here with the EMP. Yeah, Farseer as well now has the Electromagnetic Explosion, but of course that will get turned off. And honestly, it's not too bad. All my other Wraith didn't get hit by EMP. And I should still be doing somewhat fine here. More sledges got added onto the right side though, and this level 1 Wraith kind of getting stuck, but the Farseer doesn't quite have the same damage as their level 2 counterpart here with the improved firepower. And so we will win the right side, but the left side is still looking very sketchy. We will get a debuff, but man, this thing is hitting so hard. Okay. The Wraith has managed to get in, but can we kill this Farseer? We will get the tower debuff, and maybe those 9 seconds are going to be just enough. My Wraith does get EMP'd. And we have to get a little bit close. Oh, it's gonna... Oh, no. Somehow, that is not going to be enough, and the Farseer will just about win at the end of the round there, sending me down to sub 2k hit points. Very annoying. Round number 7, we get more free unit drops. I was really hoping for an Overlord, so I could get into Photon immediately. But instead here, we're going to pick up the Vulcan. It's worth the most alongside that Raiden. And I still have a spot to use. And I think it should be useful just as a tank, but also as additional chaff clear. Should serve me well. Opponent also goes for the Vulcan, of course, after I click loose formation. And I just pick up more Wraith for now, with the range enhancement picked up as well. Should help these stay at bay, stay behind all of the other units, and hopefully avoid this Farseer. If we can kill this guy, then we're probably fine, but for now that has proved very challenging. First tower attack now picked up as well. Tower attacks are quite useful if you're playing Wraith. Obviously, with the amount of guns you have, you really do make good use out of that. And let's see. Opponent now picking up another Vulcan, kind of reinforcing the right side of the board. And a third Vulcan as well. Wasps have finally been sold. They're nowhere to be seen. And I mean, look at this. Carry Wraith is not something you see every day, but in this game it seems to be doing pretty well. Steel Balls are doing whatever they can, but the damage output is just too high from this Farseer, the Vulcan, and the level 4 Hounds. Right side though, the Wraith now pushing in with a nice beacon, kind of trying to avoid most of the enemy forces. And with the additional range, all of a sudden, that Farseer wasn't all that scary. We deal massive damage and we send our opponent down to 682 hit points. And round number 8, another improved firepower control system shows up because, of course, 2 was not enough. We needed 3 of them. I will say this was quite fortunate. Advanced targeting system could have been an idea too. Getting 10 extra range on the Wraith. Definitely something to think about, but, well, I had another leveled Wraith here in the middle, and it was just too funny, right? Like, we have an improved firepower here, in the middle, on the right side, just everywhere. And now we finally start getting into the level 3 Wraith as well. And I decided to link up the Steel Balls as I elite recruit more of them. I've been running this tech now for a while, and the idea was, well, if my opponent doesn't have an ultra solid DPS board, this will definitely prove tricky to deal with. Every single Steel Ball here has 20k hit points, and of course any damage that they receive will get split along the link. And for a 200 cost tech, I think that's just worth it. I don't need the Steel Balls to do that much. It's mostly about the Wraith, but just getting additional hit points and having them stall for a little bit longer seems like it should be worth it. Steel Balls will also get rid of the shield, of course. Now they'll lock onto that Vulcan and get rid of it. Right side is collapsing, but not as fast as before. Another Farseer was added at level 2, and that's going to stall the Wraith for perhaps long enough. Ooh, it just about doesn't go down. But left side, ooh, this level 3 Farseer is just so scary. The fire did a good job of burning most of my chaff, and so can we somehow... I don't think we're going to close this out. The Phoenixes are still alive. They should get rid of that. Oh, maybe not. 3 Wraith should be enough, but the Farseer will turn, and that does have EMP. Okay, so opponent here at least won't die, but can we win the round? It actually looks like maybe no. Those Farseer missiles are dealing so much damage, and it will actually clutch up once more. This guy has been working so hard. Look at that. Top on damage, 400k throughout this match. And now we've actually managed to get to round 9 with even more unit reinforcements. Now, nothing here really looks that good for me, so I'm just playing to sell. And you see me pick the Raiden. An opponent will go for the Raiden as well, but finally, it is time for the photon coating boats to come out. I have tons and tons of cash. And of course, the electromagnetic impact is back, so that will only increase the value of this tech. It's going to be good on the Steel Balls as well, because obviously if they get EMP'd, then they don't, or they lose all of their tankiness. And yeah, I even have money to buy a third one here on the right side, making sure to cover all of the Steel Balls, most of the Wraith. Temp speed, temp range has been clicked. An opponent just buys more Raidens. I'm guessing that's against the Steel Balls, but to be honest, I don't think level 1 Raidens would do all that much against level 2 Link Steel Balls. These things are very tanky, and Raiden doesn't do all that much damage, right? Barely 6k damage at level 1. Times 3, but still. That's not even enough to kill one Steel Ball. And let's see how this turns out. Both of us are loaning naturally. Maybe this level 3 Raiden is a little bit scary, but let's see how things play out. I do still have these Wraith all the way in the back that are, well, they're not doing that much, but at least they're covering the flanks from any shenanigans. And the shields will fall very quickly. And now we have those photon-linked Steel Balls coming in. That Raiden doing a sizable chunk of damage. And the Link will die. But at the same time, right side is looking very good for us as we're pushing in. And even the left side there. Looks like this Farseer has way too much to deal with. As we should get the left tower. We'll get the right one as well. And even this level 4 Farseer, having dealt 600,000 damage across 9 rounds, won't be able to clutch up on this round. And so we do come out victorious. Yeah, This has been kind of my go-to answer if I know that my opponent will go Hound, which at high MMR I will say happens an awful lot. Trying to just go for something like Ball Wraith. It's not 100% foolproof. There are definitely like unit drops that can mess this up. Wraith is very hard to level. I get some good items here. And yeah, I managed to snowball my lead somewhat. It can also go the other way, but it's felt like the most solid response, at least to Hound. Because man, this unit is tough to deal with. I'm expecting that they will nerf them, probably up the experience requirement at some point. I don't know when, but yeah, for now, this has been my answer. If you've tried this, let me know down below. What do you think of it? Do you have a better Hound counter? Do you think this is viable or not at all? Let me know. If you want to stay up to date with my latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.